Why I chose to retire early without kids or a partner? That's the question I get asked the most. Why retire early? Why without kids? Why without a partner? In this video, I'm breaking down exactly why I chose early retirement without kids or a partner and what that decision really means for my life. If you've ever wondered what early retirement looks like when you're solo and child free, this is the honest story. I didn't grow up imagining this path, but step by step, year by year, I ended up designing a life that gives me peace, freedom, and space to breathe. This isn't a debate about kids. It's not an anti relationship manifesto. It's simply my story. It may be a permission slip for anyone whose life doesn't follow the traditional script. I was supposed to want the traditional life. Growing up, there was this unspoken plan laid out for all of us: get the job, meet the partner, have the kids, build the life. And if you did it right, you'd get some version of security and fulfillment. But here's the thing: even when I was following the script, I always felt like I was watching my own life from a distance. I never felt the pull to become a mother. It's as simple as that. And though I've had meaningful relationships, I never felt the urge to structure my entire life around partnership. Those feelings didn't make sense at the time, but I guess you could say they were the earliest clues. My early retirement journey forced me to get honest. When I started running my numbers and slowly moving toward early retirement, something unexpected happened. I stopped planning for the life I was supposed to want and started planning for the life I actually wanted. Here's what I learned very quickly: raising a child is a beautiful but expensive responsibility. A long term partnership requires emotional labor and compromise. Early retirement requires clarity, not chaos. At one point, I asked myself the very honest question: if I remove society's expectations, what do I actually want? And the answer surprised me with how calm it felt. I wanted freedom. I wanted slow mornings. I wanted to build a life around peace instead of pressure. I wanted to use my money to buy time, not obligations. That clarity made early retirement feel not just possible, but aligned. Why I chose early retirement without kids or a partner. Reason number one: I value freedom more than anything. Not freedom in a reckless way, freedom in a soft life way. The ability to wake up, decide what my day looks like without negotiation with anyone. Early retirement without kids gives me that. Early retirement without a partner amplifies that. Reason number two, why I chose early retirement without kids or a partner: the emotional bandwidth. Kids require presence, patience, and constant availability. Partnerships require coordination, compromise, and emotional labor. I realize my bandwidth is best spent on self growth, rest, and the things I deeply love, like travel, creativity, community, adventure, and curiosity. Reason number three, why I chose early retirement without kids or a partner: financial independence came faster. Being child free accelerated my savings. Not splitting financial decisions with a partner gave me discipline. And staying single reduced lifestyle creep in ways I didn't expect. Early retirement became doable not because I earned more, but because my life structure was lighter. Reason number four, why I chose early retirement without kids or a partner. Joy isn't tied to traditional milestones. I found joy in simplicity, in the quiet, and the absence of chaos. The traditional path would have boxed me into a life that just isn't mine. Reason number five, why I chose early retirement without kids or a partner. I trust myself fully. This might be the biggest one. I trust myself to create a beautiful life, to make good decisions, to support myself emotionally and financially, to be my own safety net. That self trust made the idea of retiring early alone feel empowering, not scary at all. Now, people assume it must be so lonely, but the truth is more nuanced than that. People hear retiring early without kids or a partner and immediately imagine loneliness, but my life isn't lonely, it's full. I choose my relationships intentionally. I cultivate friendships that feel like family. I build community through slow, consistent connection. My days are rich, they're meaningful, they're peaceful, they're of my own making. The absence of kids and a partner doesn't create a void, it creates space. And I fill that space with things that nourish me. So, what does early retirement look like for me now? Well, my life today is simple and I love it that way. I wake up without an alarm and don't let anybody fool you on that. That joy is indescribable. I spend my time on projects, travel, learning, rest. Rest is key. I honor my body's need for slowness. I don't need permission to take a day off, to take a mental health day, to restore when I feel weak or sick. I get to choose who and what I give my energy to. Now I live softly, I live intentionally, and I live quietly by design. So, this is a life I've built on choice, not expectation. I've built it on alignment, not pressure, on freedom and not fear. And none of it would be possible if I'd forced myself into a version of adulthood that just wasn't mine. So, if you're someone who feels different, if you're child free or single or living a life that just doesn't fit the mold, I hope this video gives you permission to trust your own path. You don't have to follow the script to have a meaningful life. You don't have to check the boxes to feel fulfilled. You don't need kids or a partner to retire early or to live beautifully. This is just what worked for me, and I'm grateful every day that I listen to myself. So that's my story. Why I chose to retire early without kids or a partner. It's not the traditional path, but it's mine. And if you're curious about what solo, child free retirement really looks like, stick around. I'll keep sharing the reality, the perks, and the lessons I'm learning along the way. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Bloqueamos a bunch, everybody. Bye.